What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to you with a quick video. We're going to talk about the Utah Jazz. They had a team that had a lot of chaos, had a lot of drama, had a lot of problems going into the offseason between Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, but they was able to put their differences aside. They was able to get back on the court and have the best season that we have seen them have in the entire tenure together as a Jazz duo. But ultimately, they did fall short again of the ultimate goal, which is winning the NBA championship. I never felt like they was going to win it this year. I felt like they was dangerous. I felt like they was good, but I never felt like they was going to be the champions this year, despite their huge success in their season. And there's a lot of players and a lot of teammates that go through things like this. It doesn't always go to end in the ultimate goal being achieved. I like the fact that they was able to do the thing that they did. Everybody's not going to do that. Everybody's not going to handle it the same way. Everybody don't have this type of success. You can't judge every person in every situation the same because it's just unrealistic, to be honest. But other than that, they still failed to go to winning the title. And we're going to talk about what to expect this season as they try to do it again and try to achieve that goal of getting further in the playoffs and ultimately trying to win the title. When I look at this team, they brought in some key players. Hassan Whiteside to replace Derek Favors. He's a big body, taller, can have a reputation as being a better defender, but we just didn't see that the last couple seasons, maybe under Quinn Snyder and this team challenging him and pushing him. Maybe we can see a different, motivated Hassan Whiteside, and the fact that he's actually playing for a team that can do something special. Maybe they push him. Maybe they can get him out of his complacency, and if that could be the case, they can get something special for him as a backup center. But other than that, we just don't know what we're going to get from Hassan Whiteside. He's hot or cold. He can be a high impact role player, just another role player, or just a rotation player. But that's how his career has been so far. Eric Paschall has been a solid player for Golden State. I think he's a great addition to this team. A guy that can play multiple positions, give you size, give you a little bit of scoring ability. Not a all-around player, not the greatest offensive player, but at least you know he can come in and hit his signature shot, that pull-up jumper, and can give you some effort and some energy. I liked him in Golden State, and I think that he can be a solid role player for them and give them some more scoring at that power forward position. Also look at Uni. I don't see him having a huge role on this team coming into this season, but he's still on the roster, so I got to mention him. Royce O'Neal, to me, has been a great player for them, has been an unknown guy, has worked his way up in the league, being a guy that can play and guard multiple positions while also giving them spacing, has improved his ability to shoot off the dribble too. He's going to continue to need to do this for this team to be successful. They also got Donovan Mitchell, who has been an all-star for this team. One of the best scorers in the league now, still a little inconsistent offensively, still a little hot or cold from mid-range, but he still showed that he has improved as a three-point shooter, and that was one of his biggest flaws coming into the league, and that's one of his biggest strengths now, off the dribble, tough shots, unbelievable shots. He has become a star shot maker, and that's something that he needed to be. He also has improved as a playmaker, has also improved as a guy that can still get to the basket, get to the free throw line, and has just become a dynamic offensive player and has obliterated teams in the playoffs the last two playoff runs and just didn't have enough and just couldn't make enough plays to get them over the hump this year. You look at Joe Ingles, another player on this team that has been a huge part of what they do as a scorer, shooting a three, playmaking has really been one of the interesting parts of this team. He comes off the bench or start. He has been a high impact role player for them. If they bring him back and lock him back up, he can still continue to do that for them under the right price. You also look at Rudy Gay. I think that he can be a great player for them, a guy that can play that power forward, small forward position, give them shot creation, give them ball handling, give them the ability to score off the dribble, and give them another guy that can have size and mobility at multiple positions, something that they lacked and something that they have with him, especially because it allows them to go small. I also look at Jordan Clarkson, had a hugely improved season, has been known as an inconsistent player and an inconsistent scorer, was able to fix majority of that narrative this year, obliterating teams for three. Confidence level was high. Scott Reichered it up to the top six man of the year, which people didn't really see him as, but I think that he could do it in his past. He was able to bring it to fruition now in his present. And I still think that with his ability to score off the dribble, his ability to get to the basket, his ability to pull up those jumpers, that's something that you need, somebody that can really come in and make a difference. And I feel like Jordan Clarkson did that more than any player off the bench. And that's why he was the sixth man of the year. And they're going to need that to continue this year if they want to achieve the same goals or exceed them. He's going to be a big part of that, just like he was last year. And they're going to need his shot creation and playmaking ability too to continue to improve if they want to be dominant again this season. I look at Brantley. He's not going to have a huge role on his team, but it's still worth mentioning him. Bogdanovich, we don't really know what he's going to be on his team, but hopefully he can come back on a good contract and be a huge role player for them. Has the ability to play make, shot creation ability is there, ability to score off the shoot the three off the ball, and ability to really just get his own shot consistently. So at the end of the day, I really got respect for Bogdanovich and what he was able to do, and I still like the fact that he has been able to embrace his role in Brooklyn. I mean, embrace his role in Utah, and really was a high impact player for them. And as a bouquet, he's not gonna have a huge role on this team either to me. But being a third street center that can give you switchability and size, I've been able to respect centers like that, and they're gonna need him just in case somebody goes down with an injury. But we got to also talk about Rudy Gobert, who a lot of people called him out for his contract, but it's not too many centers, if we have ever seen any, that can defend at a defensive player of the year for multiple seasons and become the winner again this season and be able to be an elite rebounder, elite rim protector, and a teenage scorer. I know he's not the most dominant scorer. I know he's not the most scary present, but he has been able to be a decent enough scorer, especially in the regular season, to keep this team in the playoffs each and every year that they've been together with him and Donovan Mitchell. From day one to now, this has been one of the most respected and dangerous teams in the Western Conference. Even when it was at its peak of its power, they were still in the playoffs and they were still getting out of the first round with these two together. And he was an all-star again, an all-NBA player again, and a defensive player of the year and all-NBA defender again. And you're not going to find too many guys like that, especially that can do it consistently throughout their career for you. And they was able to get that in Rudy Gobert. He's a flawed player, not the greatest player, but I don't feel like I ever said that or felt that. But he's great at what he does, elite, I should say, at what he does, and makes his teammates better on both ends of the court, whether that's setting screens, dominating in the paint when he's finishing, and actually just making an extra pass, even if that's in a pick and roll, or even just being in the paint and not being greedy and selfish, just trying to force up a shot. He understands his game. He understands what make him great, and he also understands how to make his teammates better on the court. And that's one thing that I love about Gobert and what he brings to the table. But ultimately, I look at this team as still a team that's dangerous, especially if Mike Conley can stay healthy. His hamstring injury has been really crippling them from being the team that we all thought that they can be. And that's a team that's a legitimate contender in the Western Conference that can make it out. They always had the talent. After they added Mike Conley, he didn't really fit well, didn't really play well the first season, started figuring it out at the end, had a way better fit this year, and he's trying to build upon that with a healthier season, hopefully, this season with the Utah Jazz. So they have the dynamic with the scoring, the spacing, the shot creators, the ability to break down the defense and get to the paint, kick out to the shooter. They have respect and trust for each other because they all can do those things on the court. They added more guys that can do similar things and give them more size, something that they was lacking, and now they have that now with the additions to this roster. And they still going to have one of the best defense, if not the best. They still have enough scoring to put on an onslaught and destroy opponents too. And I don't really see a team stopping this team. I feel like this team can still be number one in the West. I still feel like they can be a top 3 team in the West at worst, just because they got Quinn Snyder. They have the shooters, they have the talent, they have everything you need to be a legitimate team in this league. And that's what we seen last year when they was healthy. And I don't feel like that's changing this year either. And the best goal for them to set is to get to the conference finals, see who they got, and try to push through that team to the best of their ability and try to get to the finals and see who they match up again and try to win it all. This team is not going to be looked at as a team that can win a title by most fans or media, but I look at this team, they have everything they need, but they just need their guys to stay healthy, and they just need their guys to step up when it matters most and stop folding and stop coming up short in those big moments. rise to the occasion and carry and deliver just like you did through the regular season. I know you're going against better competition and better players, but that's why y'all in that position, because y'all can be able to compete with them. Y'all just have to literally stay together, continue to fight through the walls like y'all did last year. And the only way y'all gonna break through is by doing it together. That's what y'all got y'all to the number one seed. That's what got y'all sixth man of the year, defensive player of the year, all stars on this roster, all NBA player on this roster, is because y'all play well and fit in and play off each other so well and so perfect that it just tortures teams trying to figure out how to score and how to stop y'all. And if y'all can continue to do that, and guys can continue to make shots and make plays at the right moment, or even just blow out teams like they was doing last year, they can get to the conference finals. They can be as dangerous as they showed in the regular season. They just continue to falter and collapse in the big moments. And maybe it's Donovan Mitchell because this is his team offensively. Maybe it's Gobert because he's not doing enough offensively, or maybe the role player just ain't what they need to be mentality wise in those moments. Whatever it is, they have another season to figure it out as they're still together. Now they just have to put it all together and get the job done. Other than that, Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, signing out. I expect this team to be a conference finals team in the West. I expect them to be one of the top teams in the Western Conference, and that's what I expected them basically from last year. And I don't really see that changing this year unless injuries happen, which is out of our control. It's a prediction. But when your team is healthy, under the tutelage of basically Quinn Snyder, one of the best coaches in the league, they should still be able to repeat their consistent greatness of being one of the best teams in the entire NBA, regardless of conferences. And we'll just see if they're able to do it again, if they can actually break through and get to the conference finals and then set their goals higher and win in the finals and bring a championship home to Utah. Something that we haven't seen. It's possible with this team. They just have to put it all together and get it done. And now we're just going to see if they can make it happen. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, signing out. See y'all tomorrow.